Look at a 1-year-old. Try to find the failure in them. You cannot. That kid is going to fall 40 times today trying to walk. Nobody's going to call it failing. Nobody is going to say, maybe walking is not your thing. Everyone is going to cheer. At some point between that age and this one, you learned a different word for falling. You learned to call it failing, to call it proof. Proof that you are not enough. Proof that you were not built for this. Proof that you should stop. You were not born a failure. Nobody is. You were trained into it. By environments, by voices, by your own repetition. And if you can be trained into it, you can be trained out. This is not a video about how to win. This is a video about how to stop believing the wrong thing about yourself. 11 moves. Start tonight. There is a scene you have probably seen without noticing it. A toddler takes a step, falls, stands back up, takes another step, falls again. Nobody in that room is grading the attempt. Nobody is writing down how many times the kid fell. They are waiting for the next step. That kid is you. About 20 years ago, somewhere between that room and this one, a grading system appeared. A coach, a teacher, a parent who loved you and still made one comment you never forgot. A group of friends who laughed at the wrong time, and you learned a new word. You learned to call falling failing, and you learned that failing meant something about who you are. Epictetus wrote, "Men are disturbed not by the things which happen, but by the opinions about the things." Translation: the falling did not ruin you. Your opinion about the falling did. Every time you fell after that, you did not just fall. You confirmed the story. You collected evidence. Proof that the first judgment was right. Here's the practice. Pick one sentence you tell about yourself. I am bad at math. I always choke under pressure. I cannot stick to anything. Write it down. Look at it. Ask one question. Was this trained into me, or was it the truth? You already know the answer. There's a sentence you say to yourself every morning before your feet hit the floor. You might not hear it anymore because it has been playing for so long. I am tired. I'm not a morning person. This is going to be a long day. I never have time. I'm just like my dad. I always end up here. Those are not observations. Those are instructions. Your brain takes them and starts building the day to prove them right. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Translation: the sentences you repeat about yourself become the person you are. Not maybe, not sometimes, always. You are running on self-narration you did not audit. Most men never question these sentences because they feel like facts. They are not facts. They are training data. And you can change the training data. Here's the practice. Write down 3 sentences you say about yourself every day. Not the ones you would say in public. The ones you say under your breath, in the shower, in the car, when nobody is watching. Then next to each one, write the evidence. Real evidence, not feelings. You will find that at least one of them has no evidence at all. That one is a lie. Kill it this week. Look at your last 24 hours. Do not generalize. Count the rooms you spent time in. The group chat that pretends to be your friends. The subreddit where everyone is losing. The office where the guy one desk over complains about his wife. The apartment with the sink full of dishes. The first app you opened when your eyes were still closed. Those are the 5 rooms that built the man you look at in the mirror. You did not choose to become him. You showed up in those rooms every day, and he appeared. Seneca wrote, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve." Translation: you are not an independent identity floating above your environment. You are a product of your 5 rooms. A man cannot out-discipline his inputs. If the rooms are sick, the man is sick. Here's the practice. List your 5 rooms. Give each one a score from 1 to 10. 1 means it is pulling you down. 10 means it is pulling you up. You will find that at least one room is at a 3. That room is a daily cost you are paying. This week, do not burn the room down. Just cut your time in it in half. Watch what changes. There is something you have been waiting for that is not coming. A green light, a sign, a moment when you feel ready, a parent's approval, a manager's validation, a Sunday where you finally feel rested enough, a version of yourself who has it together first. You are waiting for a permission slip that nobody in your life is authorized to give you, except you, and you have been withholding it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Translation: there is nobody coming to tell you it is time. The signal you are waiting for is the action itself. You move, the confidence shows up, not the other way around. Men who wait for permission are actually waiting for protection. If I have permission and it goes badly, at least I had permission. The Stoic move is to cut that out. The risk is yours. Own it before it happens. Move anyway. Here is the practice. Name one thing you have been waiting for permission to do. Start the project. Text the girl. Quit the job. Send the invoice. Apply. Give yourself the permission tonight. In your own voice, out loud if you have to. Then make the first move that is only 2 minutes long. That is the door. Every excuse you make has a price tag. You just cannot see it when you are making it. I am too tired. That one costs you a workout. I do not have time. That one costs you a side project. I will start Monday. That one costs you 4 days of the week you are in. She would never go for me. That one costs you every version of the life that starts with hello. You make those trades without thinking. They feel free at checkout. They are not free. They are the most expensive thing you buy this year, and you buy them in bulk. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Translation: the excuse protects you from a pain that was not even going to happen. The workout was not going to kill you. The rejection was not going to end you. Your imagination blew up the consequence, and then you paid the real cost of not showing up. Here is the practice. The next excuse you hear coming out of your mouth, catch it, write it down, word for word, then do the thing anyway, just once. You will find something strange. The thing was never as bad as the excuse said it was going to be, and the excuse will have lost half its grip on you by tomorrow. There is a version of you that walks into every room right now, shoulders slightly forward, chin slightly down, eyes scanning for threat, breath high in the chest, a voice that trails off at the end of every sentence. Your body has been broadcasting a signal. The signal is, do not look at me, I'm trying to pass through. People pick it up, they treat you accordingly. Then you conclude that is how the world sees you. But the body was first. The world responded to the body. Epictetus wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Translation: the man who cannot command his own posture cannot command anything else. Start there. It is the most available tool you have. It does not require a new job, a new city, a new girlfriend, or a new year. It requires you to stand up straight right now. Here is the practice. For the next 7 days, do 3 things before any important interaction. Stand up fully tall. Take 3 slow, deep breaths all the way down into your belly. Make eye contact with the next person who speaks to you, and hold it 1 beat longer than feels comfortable. Watch what changes. Watch how people respond to the new body. Then ask yourself how many of your problems were actually about your posture all along. You do not trust yourself. That is why you cannot start. Every time you told yourself you were going to run tomorrow, and you did not, you made a small tear in the contract between you and you. Do that for 10 years, and there is no contract left. You can yell at yourself all you want. The man you are talking to does not believe you anymore. This is why big goals feel paralyzing. You are asking for a $10 million loan from a lender you have defaulted on 1,000 times. Epictetus wrote, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Translation: you rebuild trust the same way you broke it, one small promise at a time, kept daily, for long enough that the man inside you starts to bet on you again. Here's the practice. Tonight, pick one thing, a tiny thing, 2 minutes, bed made, phone off at 10, water before coffee. 1 push-up, do it. Tomorrow, do it again. For 30 days, do not miss, do not add anything, do not get creative, just that one thing. At the end of 30 days, check in with yourself. You will find something has changed that you did not put on the list. You started believing you. That is the foundation everything else is built on. You have taken the personality test. You know your type. You know your attachment style. You know your strengths and your weaknesses on a spreadsheet. You have listened to the podcasts. You have read the book about the book about the book. You still have not done the thing. Somewhere the self-help industry convinced you that if you just understood yourself enough, the action would become easy. It does not work that way. The action comes first. The understanding comes after. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." Translation: you are not going to think your way to a new life. You are going to do one difficult thing badly right now. The new version of you is on the other side of that, not on the other side of another article about boundaries. Most men are addicted to studying themselves because it feels like progress without the cost of actually changing. You get the hit of insight. You do not have to face the hit of discomfort. Here is the practice. The next time you open a self-help article, tab, podcast, or book, close it. Pick the one thing you already know you need to do. You have known for months. Do that thing for 1 hour instead. That hour is worth 10 books. The first time you try to be the new man, you are going to look ridiculous. The first text you send will feel weird. The first time you ask for what you actually want, your voice will shake a little. The first cold email will sound like a cold email. The first workout will be embarrassing. Good, that means you are actually doing it. Most men quit in this part. They taste the awkwardness and they mistake it for evidence they are not meant for this. It is not evidence, it is the cost of admission. Epictetus wrote, "If you want to improve, be content to appear foolish." Translation: the ego wants to arrive at competence without traveling through awkwardness. It is not possible. Every man who looks smooth in a room started out looking stupid in private. You are not exempt. You are not special in this one way. The brave version of you is always clumsy before it is confident. This is universal. Let yourself be new at it. Let yourself wear the wrong suit, say the wrong line, miss on the first 3 tries. Here's the practice. Name one awkward action this week, the text you are scared to send, the meeting you want to speak up in, the price you want to quote. Do it awkwardly. Do it Tuesday. Do not rehearse it into a performance. Awkward is the toll. Pay it and cross. Human beings are copying machines. Every day you are silently copying the people you are near. Their vocabulary, their energy, their expectations about what is possible, the ceiling of what they think a normal day looks like. You are not above this. Nobody is. The cheat code nobody talks about is proximity. Get close to one person who is a level above you in one domain. Just one. Watch how they work. Watch how they talk to themselves. Watch how they handle a setback. Your nervous system is going to absorb it. Epictetus wrote, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." Translation: you are not going to transcend your inputs. You are going to change your inputs. The people you see every day are the ceiling of who you can imagine becoming. If they are shrinking, you will shrink next to them. If they are growing, you have a template. Most men do not try this because it is uncomfortable. It means admitting you need a model. It means being the least skilled person in the room on purpose. Here is the practice. This month, 1 hour with one person who is a level above you in one area. A mentor, a call, a coffee, a workout, a DM. Ask them how they actually work. Not for advice, for mechanics. Copy what transfers. Pick the date, 1 year from tonight. Close your eyes and picture it. Same time of day, same screen in front of you, but everything around it is different. The body you live in, the bank account you log into, the person who texts you good night, the work you are doing, the voice in your head when nobody is watching. That is not a fantasy, that is a spec. You are going to write it down, and then you are going to reverse engineer it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you." Translation: you do not have unlimited runway. The you keep saying you will become needs to start showing up, because the man inside you is aging regardless. 1 year is long enough to be a different person. It is short enough to plan. Every man who looked back from the other side of a transformation will tell you the same thing. The year passed anyway. The only question was whether he walked it on purpose or drifted through it. Here is the practice. Tonight, write the date 1 year from today. Under it, write 6 lines. What does your body look like? What is in your bank account? Who is in your bed? What are you building? What does a random Tuesday look like? What is the sentence you say about yourself? That is your target. Now work backward. What is the first week? What is the first month? What stops tonight? What starts tonight? The year is coming either way. You were not born to be a failure. Nobody is. You were trained into it by a world that rewards fear and normalizes stagnation and tells you that feeling comfortable is the same as being okay. You are not broken, you are just running on old training. Failure is data, not a verdict. The falling is not the failing is calling yourself a failure. And that sentence can end tonight. 1 year from now, you will be someone. The only question is whether you are someone you trained on purpose or someone the default settings made. Start tonight. One promise, one action, one sentence you stop telling yourself. That is how you rebuild a man. Before you go, do 2 things. Hit the like button so this video reaches the next person who needs it. Subscribe so you get the next one. And drop a comment below with the one thing you learned from this video or the one commitment you are making today. Not next week, today. Write it down where you will see it tomorrow. And then start.